When I was growing up, I saw my mum suffering, and I saw my dad suffering, and they didn't say they were suffering. They raised us well, but you can sense it as a kid. You know when something's up. It doesn't matter if they say it or not. You can just feel it. It doesn't matter that they didn't say we had money struggles. I knew we had money struggles, and they truly tried their best, and they did well. But I'm still left with the problem that I don't know what happiness looks like, and I don't know what peace looks like. And then I start getting older, and I start drinking in my mid-teens and partying and repressing my emotions and spending hours and hours gaming, not drinking, just dehydrating and just neglecting myself. And then I move on to, my later teens, and I'm partying and raving and doing drugs and just abusing my body and just staying up till 8 a.m. and just trying to feel something. And I told people I was having fun. I was having fun. That's what I told myself, but in reality, I was absolutely fucking depressed. My soul was decaying, and I had no idea how to help that feeling. So I hid from it, and I ran away from it, and I've blocked it out with any number of stupid ways to block out pain. And it got worse and worse, and my relationship was falling through. I was madly in love with this girl, and she just fell out of love with me, and I watched it happen. I watched her go from loving me to no longer loving me, and I didn't know what to do to stop it. And I was a shell, and then lockdown hit, and I remember things just got worse and worse. I was so depressed, and I ended up seeing this interview of a guy, and he just poured his heart out. He was really honest and vulnerable and real, and I looked up to the guy. I was a fan of his, and something clicked in my head. Something clicked, and I knew I had to change something. And then I started learning about self-improvement, and I start meditating, and I start taking more effort to cook for myself, cleaning my room. My room was a fucking tip. And trying to spend more time with negative emotions and trying to process some of the shit that's happened to me. And it starts to work. And I don't want to say that I was doing well, because I ended up getting dumped, and obviously I was heartbroken for a while, and that's a whole video in and of itself. But even though I got dumped, I felt like I could do something. I felt like I was at least in control a little bit over how my life ended up. And these events started to chain together, and I started working out regularly, and I went from being very unhealthy to relatively healthy. I quit drinking and drugs, and I was sober. I ended up getting a good job in tech, or a decent job in tech, and I'm making these changes in my life, and I can actually look at myself and be proud of some of the stuff I've done. I don't know I ever looked at myself. I just was living and doing shit. I was not happy. And then I get this idea to start making videos, documenting the life and the lessons I've learned, I guess, and trying to help other people who I know there's other people who are suffering the way I was, trying to teach them lessons that I wish I was taught, to sort of show them a realistic self-improvement journey. Not some extreme monumental change but just how I've done it, which is not to an amazing place, but it's definitely better than where I was. And I start making videos, and I feel nervous as fuck, but I'm proud that, and I'm receiving comments, and people are telling me that they like them, and and it's fulfilling. It feels good to be able to help people like that. And I'm making these videos every single week, and I was really proud of how it turned out. I really thought I expressed the message that I learned very well. You might have seen it. It's about negative emotions. And then I post it, and then in a week it's on thousands of views, and I can't believe how well it's doing. and I had a holiday booked, and I felt like there was a crescendo of good things happening, and then this video is getting thousands of views, and I go in on holiday for the first time in ages, and the video blows up, and I'm just on holiday, checking every single day, just looking at the views, and I can't believe it. I'll be honest, I was like a fucking junkie, just like refreshing it and just seeing the views go up, and overwhelmed, if I'm honest. And I start to relax. I feel like I put in so much effort. Something should have changed. I should be different. I should be better. I shouldn't have to suffer. I shouldn't have to struggle. I've tried for so long. I don't want to have to struggle anymore. And I convince myself I've not. And I'm relaxing on holiday and I have a good time. And then I come home and something's missing. And I can't be fucked making any more videos. I don't know what to say. I don't think anyone wants to hear it. I know sure as shit it's not going to be as good as the last one I've got. And I know that everybody says you shouldn't pay attention to that stuff. You should just try and make videos you're proud of. But I'm being honest, I did pay attention to it. And I was aware that I didn't want the next video to be shit. So I was procrastinating it and putting it off. I get back from the holiday and something's off. I don't feel recharged and refreshed the way people have described they feel after going on holiday. I feel mute and dull. And like my motivation just evaporated. I was not doing well. I remember I was sat down with my girlfriend and I was telling her that I don't feel close to you. Which obviously fucking hurt to say, but I was telling the truth, I didn't. There was a void between us. The gym, I was just there was no motivation to keep going. Work was stale. I didn't want to do any self-improvement. I was eating takeaways. I was in a rut. And if you asked me how I was doing, I would have said, fine. I would have said, oh, the holiday was great. If you had asked me how I was, I would have said I was doing fine. And I think I thought I was doing fine. I know that I'm supposed to be riding the wave, and if you've made a video that does well, you're supposed to keep posting because then more people can see it, and like that's what you're supposed to do, but I can't. I'm choking. I'm not doing any of that, and I don't even care, almost. Like, every day just feels the fucking same. And weeks are flying by, and nothing's changing. Every single week just feels like the same. And a few days ago, I woke up and I felt motivated. I felt good. I don't know why. And work was good. I felt the desire to go to the gym. I felt motivated to go to the gym, to try and work hard, not just to go. I felt determined to stick to my diet and cook my own food, not relying on takeaways and unhealthy and snacks and junk food and shit like that. I got back and I meditated for the first time in weeks. And I remember I closed my eyes, and after like a minute of breathing, I just laughed. The meditation practice I do is trying to just focus on your breathing. And what happens is I start focusing on my breathing, and then my mind just wanders, and I'm thinking about this stress and this and this and this. And then when I remember that I'm supposed to be focusing on my breathing, I find it humorous, because it's almost like my mind's being this slippery fucking weasel, and I've like caught it out. So, and that happened, and I like feeling that, because it helps me feel in control of my thoughts and my mind. And then after the meditation's finished, I go downstairs, I cook another meal, and my girlfriend comes home, and I remember I just look at her with love, and it was true, and I felt it. And I went to bed early, which was at 11:45 for me, which is early for me, which says a lot about me, I guess, yeah. But I was proud of the fact that I went to bed at that time. And I woke up the next day, and I went downstairs, and I was drinking warm water. For some reason, I like to drink warm water. I'm a fucking weirdo. I know. And I go upstairs to start work, and something's up. And I noticed this video called Crisis. And it's a video, it sounds weird, of The Simpsons. And it's showing Homer, who's the main character in this cartoon. You probably already know what Simpsons is. I don't know why the fuck I'm explaining what it is. And it's showing his life. And he's having issues with his marriage, and he's just having this depressive episode. He's not even sad. He's just fucking exhausted. And it's crazy to say the effect it had on me, but I was watching it and I related so hard. The calendars are flicking by, the days are flicking by, and I start getting upset. And if you've seen one of the other videos that I've posted, I'm trying to spend longer sitting in that feeling rather than just distracting myself and changing it away. So I ask myself, why are you upset? What is the sadness, Sol? What's happened? And I just start crying. I start crying. I'm sat exactly right here. I'm alone upstairs, and I can't stop crying. Everything hit me. It's been weeks and weeks, and they all feel like they've gone by in one day. I'm letting life slip through my fingers day by day, and I'm not doing anything. I have these dreams and these ambitions to help people and make a positive impact on the world, and I know I can do it, and people have told me that I can, and I'm letting it go. I'm letting it slip through my fingers, and I'm not doing anything about it. And yeah, if you had asked me how I was on those previous 7 or 8 weeks, I would have said I'm fine. I wasn't fine. I was fucking not doing good. And I feel like that moment that I burst out crying that was 7 and 8 weeks of, I'm fine. You know, going about your day on autopilot, not paying attention to yourself. And it fucking culminated in that. I'm letting life pass me by, and it's fucking depressing. It's truly fucking sad. I'm not feeling the emotions now because I guess I already I let them all out that day. But it stuck with me. Like, of course I'm still trying. It wasn't that I wasn't trying in those things. I want to be happy. I want to feel fulfilled. I want to do something, but I'm not. And of course there's excuses and reasons, and I'm not saying that you should always expect to be able to just do everything and be this perfect person, but there's always going to be excuses. So when am I going to make a change? And I think that sometimes I trick myself and I say that, well, if you're having a hard time, you can use more comfort. You can relax, have compassion for yourself, and take your foot off the gas. And I think that has its place, and sometimes having compassion for yourself is knowing when to put your foot down, when to start realizing your purpose, when to start pursuing something, when to start making something of your life. Compassion doesn't just mean going easy. The day after having that experience where I was just sat here crying, just thinking about life, I started planning the next video, which for me was something which I've been putting off for ages. That was the thing which I wanted to do but couldn't. There was a block there that kept stopping me when I would try. And that happened on Tuesday. And then Wednesday rolled around and I felt okay. I wasn't really sure what had happened the previous day, but I felt okay. And I got my laptop out and I was working on the video. And I sat down with my notes open and Google Sheets where I write what I want to say and all my thoughts about this particular topic, so I can kind of try and condense it and communicate the ideas. And I sat there for 30 minutes and then let me go get something to eat. And then I sat there again for an hour and then was just watching other stuff. And I was there for about 5 hours and I didn't do fucking anything. And then the next day, the same thing happened. And I'm sat there. I should be working and I just keep getting distracted. And the next day rolls around, the same fucking thing happens. And the next day I go on a walk to a village nearby where I live. And on the way back, I'm saying to my girlfriend, when I get home, this is it. I'm going to go in, I'm going to meditate, I'm going to eat, I'm going to chill for a little bit, and then I'm going to film the video then. In exactly that order. It doesn't matter what else comes up. And I went home and I did that. And obviously it felt great because I'd pushed past this. And I was speaking with a friend about... And it hadn't actually occurred to me until that conversation. I felt like I was... So I had this experience where I woke up and I felt good. And then the emotions of whatever I'd been blocking had just crashed on me. And then I started to try and work on things which I'd been procrastinating. And nothing was happening. And I felt like that was a failure. Looking back, those 4 days of me sat down doing fuck all were needed for me to feel fed up enough to just go and film it the day that I actually did do it. And I guess one thing I need to remember is that, number one, pay closer attention to how you're feeling. And if you ever describe your day as fine, alarm bells should go off. 2, when the alarm bells goes off and you actually ask yourself that question, just as I did, you're going to realise you're not doing okay. You're going to realise you're not doing as good as you think you are. You're going to realise you're not doing as good as you tell people you're doing. And it's going to make you sad. And try and just feel sad. Don't distract yourself. Try not to become overwhelmed with, being mean to yourself. I'm lazy, I'm worthless, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. Just try to feel sad. That's it. And then when that motivates you, the motivation is not going to look like, and you just do this thing you've been putting off. Maybe it's gym, maybe it's going and speaking to someone, maybe it's asking for a raise, maybe it's, trying to ask someone out on a date. What it's going to look like is what it looked like for me. There's going to be a period of you just sat there feeling like you're failing, but that is success. And if you can go into that situation knowing that, you won't give up on day 3 of failing, and you'll keep going, and it will lead to something. I'm certain of it.